4 high-paying medical courier side hustle platforms to try right now. And since doing side hustle work since 2015, I think right now there's 2 different niches that have a good opportunity to earn more money. It's catering with food delivery and, of course, medical courier work. Number 1 is lab logistics. What exactly will you be doing with medical courier work? Because obviously it's different than rideshare, grocery, and food delivery. So lab logistics says our professional courier services include the handling of specimens, supplies, reports, pharmaceuticals, slides, and mail. That in addition to lab work. What I did notice with some of these platforms in the medical courier space, and even other ones that I've researched for you in this kind of niche here, is they do require you to have different equipment than the other side hustles that I mentioned. You may need a dolly if you're going to transport larger medical equipment. You may need a rolling cart. And certainly what you will need is a cooler or several coolers to transport medical specimens. What's interesting with lab logistics is on their website, they say same driver, same routes every day. And there's only really one way to do that, to have one driver on one route, and it's going to be different than the other platforms that I'm going to mention today. So it gives you some flexibility if you want this or if you don't want this. It's that Lab Logistics actually has a W-2 or employee opportunities. On one hand, there is a benefit of having predictable set routes. You're going to be familiar with it. You're going to be an expert on that routes here. Also keep in mind here that Lab Logistics says couriers are compliant with OSHA, IATA, TSA, and HIPAA regulations. At least for the HIPAA parts, if it's employee or even independent contractor, you'll see that on a lot of these medical courier side hustles. When I was reading this, it does kind of seem like more of a exclusive opportunity, if you will, because Lab Logistics covers all 50 states. Yet they only have 1,000 professional couriers. Compare that to thousands or tens of thousands on other platforms. Let me show you how much money you can make with Lab Logistics. On their website, it says they're a biotouch company, so this is what you're going to see when you go into opportunities. This did seem to vary based on marketplace, so look into that for your city here. But this opportunity says $19 per hour, which is pretty decent. We also provide mileage reimbursement. So that's nice to have 19 per hour guaranteed. And if it is W-2 as an employee, then your employer is going to be responsible for withholding those taxes versus an independent contractor, which is nice. And then, of course, you get that mileage reimbursement. I'm curious how much that is. I would like something, I mean, in doing my research here, I saw like 80 cents a mile. You know, as an independent contractor, especially because that's gross, I want $1.75, $2 to $3 plus. But again, if this is W-2, I'm curious what that additional pay is as well. This one, $15 an hour, that's lower. Frankly, I would not sign up for anything that's under $18 an hour. And this one, even right here, you're going to want to look to see if they have that mileage reimbursement as well. It's very important because you could make, let's say, $18 an hour, but if you're not getting any additional mileage reimbursement, then you're getting the hourly pay, but you could be driving 100 miles, 200 miles on a farther route. But generally $15 to $19 an hour. I think on that higher end there, it makes sense, especially if you have the mileage reimbursement. Number 2, our second platform is Associated Couriers. Now this one uniquely has both employee W-2 opportunities and 1099 independent contractor opportunities. So that's perfect if you want a set schedule, set routes, or more flexibility to do other things as an independent contractor. A nice thing about Associated Couriers, and I'm glad they specifically put this, is they have 1, routed deliveries, varying routes that have more of a set schedule to them. 2, stats or on-demand deliveries, last-minute pickups and orders dispatched from a route manager or customer. And then 3, backup or standby, fill in for route voids or cancellations. That is exactly, as an independent contractor, what you want to look for, because some people want set it and forget it, like Amazon Flex, or even Uber has some routed, Walmart Spark has routed, I think Roadie has some routed, that I can drive for 2 or 3 hours and I'm good. I have my route, I have my assignments. Or you want more fluidity, more flexibility to change the different apps that you're working on. So then maybe I just want to take stat or on-demand offerings. Here again is where you're really going to want, I'd say, the dolly, actually, not even a rolling cart, an actual dolly here. This one says materials are transported in totes that can weigh up to 100 pounds. I strongly suggest, if you're going to do something like this, equipment and the like, to get a dolly. Expectations and pay on Associated Couriers. Listen to this. So one listing here, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. until 2 p.m. So there's predictability there. But it says deliveries are made up to 300 miles and some go out of state. I would strongly recommend with Medical Courier, get some kind of guaranteed pay if you can, but really pay attention to the pay per mile. And that pay here, at least on this listing, 89 cents per mile and $10.50 per stop. I'm thinking, once I read that 89 cents is way too low, I want you to have at least a minimum of $1.75, like a 1-to-1, I call it, $1 per mile, like that 1-to-1. That is pretty much break even after taxes. Remember, this is independent contractor opportunities here. And then I saw it's 89 cents and $10.50 per stop. And let's assume a stop's going to take 20 minutes, 30 minutes max. If you happen to have a ton of heavy equipment, only one fits on the dolly. I got 3 things in my car, which is probably the max, frankly, based on what you can fit in a sedan, let's say. So could you do 2 to 3 stops an hour? So 3 stops an hour, you're making like $30 plus per hour, and then you're getting 89 cents per mile. It's all going to depend on, do I have the flexibility to sign up for the routes that I want? And you should, because this one, again, is an independent contractor. You have that freedom. But here's another listing, though, with both morning and afternoon routes available. Now, listen to this. This is also on Associated Couriers because the pay is different on this one. Would you prefer this better? It says paid in one or more of the following ways. It's per mile, per routes, per stop, plus a variable fuel surcharge in some of our marketplaces. I mean, that's basically what Amazon Flex does. It can be broken down per hour. They're going to say, well, it's $20 per hour, but you're locked in there for 3 hours. So it's kind of the same thing. Call it what you will, $20 an hour or $60 guaranteed. Here's the locations available with Associated Couriers, and they have hub offices located throughout the Northeast, Midwest, and the South, and then they deliver within 150 miles of each of those respective hubs. Our next platform, Priority Dispatch. This is another good opportunity because, like Associated Couriers, they also have employee opportunities and independent contractor. Similar kind of thing, right? Specimens, equipment, paperwork, and the like, medical courier stuff, of course. But what I found interesting is I went into the independent contractor opportunities here, and it did give us information on a predictable shift. In this case, mornings starting at 11 a.m. until route is finished. Usually 6 to 8 hours. To put that in perspective, that seems longer than the Associated Courier routes, at least from what I gather on the initial research. But even Amazon Flex, if you want to talk about traditional gig apps, Amazon Flex, a max shift, the longest shift is, I believe, 4 hours. Of course, it's not going to work for some people, and that's not every single shift. That's just this one opportunity here. But even call it 5 to 8 hours. You may need more time available if you're going to do Priority Dispatch. Regarding pay, though, I read competitive rates, weekly pay, be home every day. The 1099 is confirmed there. Be your own boss, right? Unlimited income potential, which I feel like most every job basically can put unlimited income potential if you want to work enough hours. I don't love that. And then even competitive rates. Listen, competitive to me in the freight LTL delivery sector is at least $20 an hour. Under that, it's average. If you really want to be truly competitive, make it $20 plus. $25 plus ideally, then you're the top 15, 10% of platforms. Honestly though, just remember, you are an independent contractor. You're not tied in to an employee contract. And this is exactly what I do on every single gig app that I take. If something doesn't pay enough, if a route doesn't pay enough, if an assignment doesn't pay enough, if the mileage doesn't make sense for the pay, all that stuff, just don't take it. And our last medical courier platform, Diligent Delivery Systems. Quote, with a nationwide network of more than 50 locations, that's coast to coast, boasting over 5,600 drivers, which is more than some of the other platforms that we highlighted today. Now, I like Diligent because we can see here, there's Independent contractor drivers here. There's opportunities. There's the driver requirements. Pretty straightforward. Got to be 21 years of age plus. The only thing I didn't see there, which is frankly the most important thing, you got it, the pay. Could vary by location, could vary by the current demand level, how many couriers they need. Just remember, you're an independent contractor. I'd aim for about $20 an hour, 25 plus. It's a good opportunity. While medical courier side hustles, gig apps, and the like, they do have more responsibility than, let's say, food delivery. They can pay more, but they might drive more, so you want to consider that pay per mile. But I also think there's an opportunity because not everyone's looking or even wants to do medical courier work. So which one of these platforms or even which other ones are a good opportunity right now? Let us know.